Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling guilty, even though you didn't do anything wrong? Or maybe someone convinced you to do something you never wanted to do, and later you kept wondering, how did that happen? Was it simply a misunderstanding, or were you being manipulated? Today, we're exploring one of the internet's most misunderstood topics: dark psychology. Some people believe it's a collection of secret mind control techniques, while others think it's a mysterious superpower that allows someone to control anyone they meet. The reality is much more fascinating and much less magical. By the end of this video, you'll understand what dark psychology really is, why people are so fascinated by it, and most importantly, how recognizing manipulative behavior can help you protect yourself. Let's start by clearing up one of the biggest myths. Dark psychology is not an official branch of psychology, like cognitive psychology, developmental psychology, or clinical psychology. You won't find a university offering a degree called dark psychology. Instead, it's a popular term used to describe the unethical use of psychological principles to manipulate, deceive, pressure, or exploit other people for personal gain. Think of psychology like electricity. Electricity can power a hospital and save lives, or it can be used in harmful ways. The electricity itself isn't good or bad. It's simply a tool. Psychology works in exactly the same way. Understanding how people think can help a therapist heal emotional wounds, help a teacher inspire students, or help a counselor improve relationships. But the same understanding can also be misused by scammers, dishonest marketers, or manipulative individuals. That's where the word dark comes from. It isn't the science that's dark. It's the intention behind how it's used. One surprising thing about manipulation is that it rarely looks like it does in movies. In films, villains often have dramatic music, evil smiles, and obvious bad intentions. Real life is very different. Manipulation often arrives politely. It may come with kindness, compliments, concern, or even affection. Imagine someone saying, "I guess you're too busy to help me." They never directly asked for help, but suddenly you feel guilty and start questioning yourself. That feeling influences your decision before logic has a chance to catch up. This is because emotions often guide our choices more quickly than reason does. In fact, our brains are designed to react emotionally before they think logically. Think about the last time you went grocery shopping while you were hungry. You planned to buy only a few essentials, but somehow you left with snacks, desserts, frozen pizza, and things you didn't even know you wanted. In that moment, your stomach became the CEO, and your brain simply approved the purchases. It's a funny example, but it reminds us of an important truth. Emotions influence far more of our daily decisions than most of us realize. That doesn't make us weak. It makes us human. Over many decades, psychologists have discovered that our brains rely on mental shortcuts to make quick decisions. Most of the time, these shortcuts help us save time and energy, but sometimes they also lead us to poor judgments. Imagine meeting someone wearing an expensive suit, speaking confidently, and using complicated vocabulary. Many people instantly assume that person must be intelligent and trustworthy. But confidence doesn't automatically equal competence. Someone can sound convincing while being completely wrong. Our brains often confuse confidence with credibility. Another interesting part of human psychology is our deep need to belong. Human beings have survived by living in groups for thousands of years, so our brains naturally value acceptance and fear rejection. That's why social pressure can become incredibly powerful. If everyone around us believes something, we often begin believing it too, even when there's very little evidence. This explains why trends, rumors, and misinformation can spread so quickly. Have you ever liked a social media post simply because thousands of other people already had? That's an example of social influence at work. One concept that frequently appears in discussions about dark psychology is something called the Dark Triad. Despite sounding like the name of a movie, it's actually a group of 3 personality traits studied by psychologists: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. It's important to understand that these traits exist on a spectrum, and having some characteristics doesn't automatically mean someone has a personality disorder. Narcissism involves an exaggerated sense of self-importance and a strong desire for admiration. Machiavellianism refers to a tendency to prioritize personal gain through strategic, often dishonest behavior. Psychopathy is associated with low empathy, impulsive behavior, and reduced emotional concern for the impact one's actions have on others. Movies often exaggerate these traits, making every psychopath appear like a violent criminal, but reality is much more complex. Most people with difficult personalities are not violent, and most criminals don't fit a simple stereotype. Human behavior is far more complicated than labels suggest. Another common misconception is that manipulation only exists in crime stories or thriller movies. In reality, unhealthy influence can appear almost anywhere: in friendships, romantic relationships, workplaces, advertising, online scams, and even ordinary conversations. Of course, this doesn't mean everyone is trying to manipulate you. Most people communicate honestly and with good intentions, but learning to recognize unhealthy patterns can help you make wiser decisions. One simple question can be incredibly useful after an uncomfortable conversation. Did I freely choose this, or did I feel pressured into it? Sometimes that single question reveals more than you expect. Guilt is another powerful emotion worth understanding. Healthy guilt encourages us to apologize when we've genuinely hurt someone, but unhealthy guilt can be used to pressure people into doing things they don't truly want to do. Imagine someone saying, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this." Instead of discussing the issue openly, they're making your love or loyalty feel conditional. Healthy relationships are built on respect, communication, and trust, not emotional pressure. Fear also plays a significant role in human decision-making. Our brains naturally pay more attention to threats than rewards because our ancestors survived by noticing danger quickly. Even today, dramatic headlines, emotional stories, and alarming claims capture our attention far more easily than ordinary facts. Curiosity works in a similar way. Think about movie trailers. They never reveal the ending because unanswered questions keep us interested. Our brains naturally seek closure, which is why cliffhangers and mysteries are so effective. Interestingly, many people search for dark psychology, hoping to discover ways to control others. Ironically, the most valuable lesson isn't learning how to manipulate people. It's learning how to avoid being manipulated yourself. Knowledge becomes far more valuable when it protects you rather than giving you false confidence. One of the best ways to protect yourself is to slow down important decisions. Ask questions. Verify information. Pay attention not only to what people say, but also to how they make you feel. If someone consistently leaves you feeling guilty, confused, fearful, or pressured, it's worth taking a step back before reacting. A short pause can prevent a major mistake. Critical thinking remains one of the strongest forms of self-protection. It costs nothing, never becomes outdated, and helps you see beyond emotional pressure. Manipulation often succeeds when people stop asking questions, so never lose your curiosity. Keep thinking, keep learning, and keep questioning. Understanding psychology isn't about gaining power over other people. It's about gaining wisdom about yourself and the people around you. The human mind is one of the most remarkable mysteries on Earth. It has built civilizations, created breathtaking art, solved impossible problems, and at times even fooled itself. Studying psychology helps us understand both the brilliance and the vulnerability of the human mind. Dark psychology isn't a magical collection of secret techniques. It's a reminder that psychological knowledge, like any powerful tool, can be used for good or for harm. The responsibility always lies with the person using it. Hopefully, the more we understand human behavior and the psychology of influence, the better equipped we'll be to choose empathy over exploitation, honesty over deception, and wisdom over impulse. If this video changed the way you think about dark psychology, then you've already taken the first step, because the greatest defense against manipulation isn't learning how to control other people. It's learning how to recognize manipulation and refusing to let it control you. Thank you for watching, and remember, the most powerful mind is never the one that controls others. It's the one that cannot be easily controlled.